honored and delighted to receive you. Except for what I can see, as far as maybe it could be said to be the difference between a person who is physically challenged and then those who are not physically, those who are okay, let's say. Except you are able to see that this one is either having a challenge with his hand or leg or whatever. What is most important is the capacity to withstand challenge. Okay? For me, I don't think any element or deformity in a person is enough for one to be described as physically challenged. So long as his IQ works, so long as his intelligence, his sense of mentality is going for him, then I don't think it's challenged, because you could be upright, you could have everything going for you, and then you are deformed with IQ, you are challenged. You could be said to be a physically challenged person because if you have nothing upstairs, you have nothing going for you, and yet you can walk, you can run, but you don't have an idea of what is left and right before you, then you are challenged physically. So for me, I don't see physically challenged persons as anything different between those who are able and those who are not. The mental capacity in that person, whether it's physically challenged or not, is enough for him to do anything in life.
Okay. For persons with disabilities, it's not all of them that is actually physically challenged. There's some disability that is sensory, like someone who is deaf or someone who is blind.
Yeah.
So physically challenged basically is people like us that have such challenges. So when we talk about persons with disabilities, we talk about all of them. Including the blind and the deaf. So we talk about every one of them. So sir, in your own like if you are to tackle the issues of persons with disabilities, so I want to understand what do you think can be done for persons with disabilities in our society?
I can start it from where I come from. Charity begins at home.
Okay.
I come from a family that not all of us we have one or two persons that have one challenge or the other, like the sensory ones. In my family, I have a senior brother who was born deaf, and he lived a life. And his children today are good in the society, right? He was born deaf. He can't even speak. But he married, give birth to kids, and the children are today doing good in the society. 2 are graduates. That did not take away his mental reasoning to say, let me send my children to school. You can get that.
Yeah.
I have a biological son. My second son is physically challenged. My own senior brother and my own child is physically challenged. Right? He can talk. But his manner of speak, the way his speaking ability is not too fluent like me and you can understand ourselves, right? He doesn't hear, but today he holds a paper that you call a degree certificate. He earns a living. There are people whose eyes, ears, and he has paper. That if he's given a job today, is a grade level 8 officer, and then you think you have eyes going for you, 2 eyes even, not even 1, 2 eyes. You can hear both left and right. You have your legs going for you, but you didn't go to school. You are physically challenged. You understand my point? So for me, this is my perception of physically challenged person is not from the point of your deformity. If you have IQ going for you, you're okay, and you are set to go.
Okay. Actually, recently, just barely like 3 years, they have a law that they call Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Prohibition Act 2018. I don't know if you have heard of it. So it's a law that is binding on people. It's there to protect persons with disabilities from harmful practices.
That the percentage is a bad one, because what we made on ground does not encourage physically challenged persons in the service of this area council. For me, as a public person who was elected, I deemed it very necessary that part of my cabinet, okay, I must start from where I have capacity and ability to appoint, not to employ. Okay, I have every reason to appoint aides that work with me, and I allocate portfolio, and I design an office, special assistant to the chairman for physically on disability. And I think he's here with you. He has been in the government, of course, since we commenced operation here. So it means I have brought in someone like you to be part of the government, to represent whose interest? The interest of the people with disabilities. So that whatever he has about you, he reports to me. Wherever I'm going that has to do with physically challenged, I go with him, or he goes to represent me, so that the interests of those physically challenged persons are protected. Now you saw me, trying to roll out a bill. I wanted the attention of the head of the Department of Works here. I look, this is an established building that precedes my coming to office.
We've been here for years.
Good. And unfortunately, we have a process where persons who are able, right,
Design the building.
they design the building. They don't have your issues
at heart.
Yes. And so anytime they're coming up with the building from foundation to the last stage, theirs is just about the people who have the legs that can walk and whatever. There wasn't that idea. And I said, okay, this is where we have the fullest of our manpower. But persons with disability also approach the office. Yes. So if they are to come to the office, I've had reasons to go down to receive persons like you. Okay? Because severally he will come, or they will come and they won't be able to climb. I have to go down to receive them. That isn't what they would have preferred. They would love to come to the office, but because they cannot access us, I go down. Now when I look at that, I say, okay, I won't leave this office. I won't, extinct from the government until I provide a platform. And I've directed Works Department to look at the pavement around. Where can we construct and put in place where you and me can come to the secretariat with ease, a ramp. That is what they call. So we're working on that. And basically between now and, I want to believe, between now and December, we should have access for you when anytime you come to this area council. You don't need to be, lifted by persons who are able to access this area, this office anymore. And I wanted him to come so that you hear from him too. And then let me confirm where are we as far as the design is concerned. Because I want to award the job so that we can get started and then let us achieve it on time. So these are my perceptions, these are my thoughts about persons who are physically challenged. All right, as far as assessing the area council secretary is concerned.
Okay. So in the area of the job, you don't have.
Well, in job,
because it's a law.
It is a law. Yes, I think I would encourage you.
And because they said it has to be done.
Yes, I want 5%. To encourage you. I want to encourage you that it was not done before does not mean that it should not be done. And that ignorance is not an excuse. Okay? And if I'm able, and I refuse in the process of engaging persons into the service of this area council, all right, if I'm engaging 5 persons today, okay, and the commission did not, if I'm not able to include in the list a person with disability, if just the entire 5 are physically challenged, physically well-to-do, and there is no one single physically challenged, let it be in a law that offer should not be accepted. We can start from there.
Yes.
2, you have liberty, you are a citizen of this country. If there is a law backing you, you have every reason to write. You can start by writing to us here as a council to say you are calling on the attention of this area council to take note of this provision within the law that says for every appointment or employment, physically challenged must have this certain percentage, so that we are guided. So that whenever we want to do 1 or 2 little offer of appointment, we'll make sure that gone should be those days when we don't consider person with disability.
Okay.
All right. I think you can initiate that.
Yes.
So that even if I have not done that, then succeeding administration can come and meet a law that if they abridge it, they can be penalized by the courts.
You know, because that particular law has a lot in it. It's not just the two I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
I just mentioned these two because I just felt that it's one of the things that is very important to persons with disabilities that should bring to your notice. But there's a lot of them. I think it would be nice for us to also come on a good day, write, and also present a copy of that law to you, so that you have a copy that can guide your officers to begin to include, at least to comply to the sections of that particular law. So I think that's what we need to do, and I'm happy you brought it up. I will take that initiative, and we will do that. Okay, sir. You've mentioned, because I got an information that you have like almost 4 persons with disabilities in your cabinet, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. So I want to understand what are they doing, and what actually informed you taking such a beautiful decision. And I want you to also advise other chairmen like you, other politicians like you, on the best way they can copy what you've done.
Well, first and foremost, I think the impression should be that we want to make the physically challenged persons also feel a sense of belonging. That they have physically incapacity and then does not segregate them. They must not pull back or pull backward. Okay, they must belong to every sphere of responsibility we do here. And so we allocate to them what they can do. What stops a physically challenged person on special advisor advising the child on this or that? What stops him from assessing me to say, I have an advice on this area or in this regard? Nothing stops him. The same way a physically AC can do, a physically challenged person can as well come to advise. So my idea, the overall objective is to allow a sense of belonging. Let them feel they are part of the process. Okay, let them feel they are part of the area council. The area council does not just belong to we that are physically okay now. Because anyone can be physically challenged. It can happen anytime. So if you segregate and say because you have your 2 works, you have your 2 legs going for you today, do you know tomorrow? So if you make a provision wherein everybody have an opportunity to key into the system and the process is working for every person, I think it will be better. So my idea of bringing whoever is physically challenged into my government is for that sense of belonging, to honor, to feel I am you too, not to go backward. Okay, that is what I idea.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. So I'm looking forward that you'll be supporting some persons with disabilities in the next election to also come into politics.
I think my party has demonstrated that. It may not be enough anyway, but I think the council.
I want you to take it upon yourself.
I have taken it upon myself by asking my SA Politica to take it upon himself that he must ensure that that one councillor that will have out of the 12 wards is elected as a councillor to represent a ward. And I think same party even, or certain empathy on the people from Karo ward should be that, the man can even perform better than those of them who are physically challenged, because you end up having your 2 legs and then having your 2 hands on how to steal money, and then with this man, if he steal money, he can't run. Isn't it? So he'll be caught immediately, right? So it is expected that Karo people should have gotten someone that will be around them all the time, because he can't be traveling unnecessarily.
Okay, my people always do well. At least we have been exhibiting that in Paralympics. You see the number of gold we will normally come back with. That tells you that you can do well in everything.
Exactly.
So even in politics, I know by the time he's elected, is going to do something different from what others are doing.
We are going to work for him, and I think I was happy when I got to know that our councillorship candidate in Karo is physically challenged. And I say kudos to our party, because I want to believe that for the first time in the history of this political party activities, for the first time in the history, I don't know of the past political parties, but of recent, okay, until their dissolution, we have a physically challenged, just like you, as a member of the National Working Committee of our great party.
He's my good friend, yes.
Good, except for Oshomole's dissolution of the ESCO. He was he was in the top ranch of the party management and decisions. Okay? So I think we have started well. And then at our local level here, if we have a councillor, okay, being prepared, a physically challenged, being prepared to become a councillor in this world, that is to say, every decision of this area council, a physically challenged is going to have a voice there, because he's going to represent the interests of the people.
Wow. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time, and we are happy for you speaking to persons with disabilities through us.
Thank you.
Surely they will hear what you have said, and they will continue to partner, continue to, just like you said, continue to reach out.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much, sir.